Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Lorraine Taylor and this is Do Brand You. It's all about you unleashing your potential in every season of life. Today is a Friday chat day and I'm here to share with you the concept of something that I've been focused on this week, and that is crossing out the to-do list words on my diary and writing in intentions. And this has been a huge perspective change for me this week, and I wanted to share that with you. On Friday chats are days that I go behind the scenes and share with you what I'm working on, and just to allow you to think about how this might work for you as well. As you know, I always like to get into the science behind why does this work? What is it about setting intentions that would make more sense than the whole concept of a to-do list? So we'll get into that in this video. So where did I come up with this idea? Well, I came up with this idea last Sunday when I was on the Zoom call for our Do Book Club. I'll talk a little bit more at the end about the Do Book Club, but for now, I just want to say that we were talking about the book 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. And it's all about the fact that we have 4,000 weeks, and what we choose to do with that time is of the essence. And it really, as you move through the book, it changes your perspective on time. Now, one of the pieces of that conversation was how we are often battling time. And I feel a lot of times like I'm in a fight with time. I can oftentimes get to the end of a day and feel like I just haven't had enough time to do what I've wanted to do. And I haven't been able to finish what I wanted to finish. I'm recording this video, in the December, and this is such a busy time of year. And we're just trying to get so many things done. Now, one of the things with this whole idea of forget the to-do list and write intentions is the most challenging thing, and that is this letting go of this concept of perfectionism. Like if I say I'm going to do something, I want to be able to do it, and then if I don't do it, then I feel like, you failed or something like that. But the whole concept is when you have intentions and not something that you have to do, you allow yourself to live in the moment. And that's the real different perspective of time change. There's another book as well called The Power of Now. I've read it before. I want to read it again. And in fact, I was listening to a podcast with Mark Ballas. He was being interviewed. He's one of he was a guest judge. He's one of the pro dancers for Dancing with the Stars. And his whole concept too just aligned with this whole idea of time. And he talked about the power of now. And he talked about his challenge with when his son was born, him and his wife just took a year off and just allowed every day just to live as they wanted to live. And just do whatever that day was going to bring. I'm not saying that we have to give up on everything, but I'm saying that to change our perspective of time and to let go of that perfectionism, that's something that I've really had to work on this week. In the last few weeks, I've been really trying to move past this. I have to get a certain amount of things done. And as I move into this brand refresh, I'm moving into that. I'll talk more about that on this channel. I want to move into a stage in my life now where I do what I want to do. I do what I want to do because I feel like I want to do I want to spend my time doing what I love to do. I've created a business that I love every aspect of what it involves. But I don't want to force myself to a to-do list where I'm always just feeling like I can never finish it. I will always add more to that to-do list. It's just not productive. And I want to move more into this state of being. So We really do live in this world that treats time like a race, and it's a constant sprint, and we don't take time to just enjoy things. And the to-do lists are the ultimate tool in that race. It's like it just forces us to keep going and to constantly feel like we're not finishing what we're doing. So, why is it that shifting to intentions would make more sense? And it's instead of asking, what do I need to get done today? Or having this huge to-do list that's always too long, how do I want to use my time today? And as I say, as I move into this new season of my life, I only want to do things like on my business because I want to do them. And so it's really saying not what do I need to get done, but what do I want to do, and where will I find my enjoyment today? I know this is like a crazy thought because it's kind of like, well, how am I going to get anything done? And so this week I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. I'll give this whole thing a go. I'll try the whole intentions thing. Honestly, I didn't really believe it was going to work. And this is my office that I work in. And I said, at the beginning of this week, I am not going to come in this office and do any work unless I want to come in here and do it. Because I get up in the morning and I feel like, oh my God, I have to do so much. I work all day. At the end of the day, I feel like, oh my God, I added to my to-do list and I haven't finished. It's been incredible this week, honestly, because what I've done, what I've been able to get finished means a lot to me. And I've enjoyed every moment of it. And when I've come in here, it's really worked. Now, I'm going to see how this continues to play out, but I can see that it's actually going to work, because instead of doing things because I have a to-do list, I have intentions, and those intentions are that I want to get these done, and that I have more freedom to do them when I want. I won't come into this office if I don't want to do them. And literally, it has really changed. It's changed the way that I am working this week. So as I always do, I want to well, what is this whole thing about intentions? Does this make sense with science? And it's when we look at the science behind the concept of having intentions as opposed to a to-do list, you're really looking at why you do things and making sure that you're in the moment when you do things. So one of the things is that it's emotional motivation they talk about when I was looking at this. They talk about intentions activate our brain's reward system. So when I focus on the fact that the task that I'm going to do, I want to do it, and it's meaningful, then my brain releases dopamine, which is the motivation chemical, and this makes me feel more invested in what I'm doing. And that's why, as I continued to do this, I wouldn't come in the office unless I really felt like I wanted to. What was happening is I was activating the release of dopamine in my brain, which was the motivation chemical. And that's what happened. I actually, when I went to bed at night, I'd be like, oh, I can't wait to get back in my office and do what I wanted to do. Whereas seriously, before it was like these to-do lists were just too much. Another thing they talk about with the concept, the science behind this, is that to-do lists can create this situation of cognitive overload. And so, we look at our list, I look at my list, and it's way, way too long. And it's just too much. Whereas by focusing on a few key intentions, I reduce my mental clutter. I feel more in control. I know that when I sit down because I'm going to enjoy it, I'm going to feel good, it releases the stress automatically. And then the third one that they brought up with the science was the concept of alignment with my values. And intentions connect our daily actions to our long-term values. I want to create intentions. This is what I intend to do. This is how I want to live. This is what I want to do. If I don't get it done, it's okay. But if I am able to get it done today, then perfect. And this creates a sense of purpose and fulfillment that a to-do list just can't do. That to-do list is just like we're fighting with time, whereas the intentions are things that are really focused on, like you're not going to intend to do something if it's not something that you want to do or it's not going to add value to you. And so you don't keep writing all of these intentions, you keep them down to a short amount. So one of the things that kind of leads on from the whole concept of living with intentions is it creates this conditions of flow. Now, living in flow is that magical state where you're so immersed in what you're doing that time seems to disappear. You're fully in the moment. You're fully present. You're fully engaged. And that's when you're operating at your best. And that's when you can unleash your potential in every season of life. Intentions focus your mind and help you to enter the flow state more easily. Flow happens when your task is both meaningful and challenging, if it can be, which aligns perfectly with intentional living. So think about it. When was the last time that you felt that you were really in flow? That means you were really just enjoying what you were doing. You were doing what you love to do, and you were able to experience that whole situation in a really positive way. That's flow state. We will talk about flow state more here on the channel later. So anyway, this is the Do Brand You channel. I do want to get into what can you do this week. So what could you do this week? And I'm going to share what I did, and that is to set just one. You can set a couple, but I would say just set one intention. Or, well, what I do is actually I put like one thing that I'm really focused on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is for my business. And then on Thursday, Friday, one thing that I'm really focused on. That's what I'm going to be working on. The intentions are, I set an intention for that I would like to get a few other things done. But if it doesn't happen, it's okay. Because when it doesn't happen, what I found this week is that I was really involved in the other. And I didn't get myself all upset about not finishing all of my to-do list. I enjoyed the first intention that I had. And then if I was able to move on to more, I could. Also, just to notice moments of flow this week. Notice when you feel times when you're really immersed in your experience and you're really enjoying it. Now, all of this talk, like I'm not saying that we don't have things that we have to do in life. We can't just live like crazy and not have things that we have to get done. But what I would really suggest, and this is something I'm doing, is I'm finding blocks of time in my life where I can live fully by intention and not by a to-do list. And what I want is those blocks of times to expand. And it's also, I would say, to challenge, this is what I've done, to challenge the perspective of things that you have to do that you think you don't like, to doing things that like you have to do something, like you have to go and do your car registration, you have to do that. But try to shift perspective. We'll talk about this more, try to shift your perspective on how that's something that I enjoy doing, and you can put it in what you're doing. And I'm going to try this is I will intend to do something like renew my car registration in a week or within the 2 weeks, and see when I feel like I'd like to have a break from what I'm doing, and then I can go and do something like that. So we'll talk more about this, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Again, this is Friday Chat, so I just share things. A lot of things are new, like this whole concept for me. So it's things that I'm working on as well. Now, I did want to mention about the Do Book Club, because this whole idea came about because of Do Book Club, which is the best book club I've ever belonged to. It's in the Do community, so just message me if you're interested in it. So what it is we just have and that's all I have for you today. So enjoy your week. Enjoy just having intentions and living in a state of flow, enjoying what you do, even if you can't do that all the time because there's things that have to be done. Find specific blocks of time in your life where you can live by what your intentions are, what you love to do. And see how you go with the to-do list. And I'll see you next week.